to maintain. Last year, the Seahawks were crowned kings of their conference. This season, injuries have sidelined their stars. Now a championship team looks to get back on track. For the Raiders, the glory days are decades past. But a legend of the silver and black has seen back-to-back wins. And now Randy Moss and the Raiders can make it 3 wins in a row tonight on Monday Night Football.
I'm ready for some football. Are you?
Football from one of the great atmospheres in all of sport. Too loud to handle Quest Field in Seattle, home of the NFC champion Seahawks. Seahawks Raiders on Monday Night Football. Old AFC West rivals get together. Hi everyone, Mike Tirico. So glad you are with us. After tonight's game, we're at the exact halfway point of this 2006 NFL season. If you write the story of the first half, it's what happened to the Super Bowl teams from last year. The Steelers are 2-6. That ties the worst record in the AFC. These guys, Seattle, in a little better shape. If they win tonight, they stay a game ahead of St. Louis in the NFC West. However, they are without their Pro Bowl quarterback and running back, and they've lost 3 of their last 4. I turn to Joe Theismann and Tony Kornheiser, guys. As for the Raiders, remember, they were in the Super Bowl 3.5 years ago. Since then, they've won 15 games. Tony, a far cry from the old masters of Monday night.
Mike, once upon a time, the Raiders were the best team in the NFL. They were outlaws and misfits gathered together under the anti-authority of the maverick genius, Al Davis. Big Ben Davidson, Ted Hendricks, Gene Upshaw, Art Shell, Jim Otto, Kenny Stabler, John Matuzak, Fred Biletnikoff, playing with a big chip on their shoulders, playing for themselves and against everybody else. Al Davis hated all authority except his own. He took people who didn't fit anywhere else and made them fit with the Raiders. Just win, baby, is Al Davis's anthem. Just win. He wore his sweatsuits and his pompadour like a crown. For years, Al was the bad boy of the NFL, and they couldn't do a thing to him. He beat him on the field, and he beat him in the courts. But he's older now, 77, a lion in winter, not as robust as he once was. People describe Al as an apparition. You know he's there. You can even smell the scent of his cologne in the hallway, but you rarely see him. And his Raiders have fallen off the map. Mostly, they just lose, baby. They have reached the sorriest state of all in sports, irrelevance. Al Davis is a giant, and it makes me sad to see how far the mighty have fallen, and maybe can't get up.
Maybe. They've won their last 2 games after an 0-5 start. Their opportunistic defense is tough, and they get fresh meat. They get a quarterback making his 2nd NFL start tonight.
And I'm excited for Seneca Wallace. Here's a young man who really gets an opportunity to open up here at home in front of his crowds. Now, Seneca brings a different dimension to this Seahawk offense. He's a guy that has the ability to move around and run with the football. And this anemic running game certainly needs it. The Seahawks have not been able to run the football very well. He can give that dimension to him. But think of this, Mike Holmgren, his head coach, he coached Steve Young. He coached Joe Montana. He coached Brett Favre. Now he's had Seneca Wallace for 4 years. Yeah, it may only be the second game, Mike, but I think we see the impressions of Mike Holmgren on this young quarterback.
And a tough night to handle because the weather is tough. The quarterback guru has to go with his number 2. Michelle Tafoya talks with his number 1. Injured Matt Hasselbeck when you come back to Seattle. HD TV technology. Second full game of the Seahawks without injured starter Matt Hasselbeck, out with a knee injury, standing by with Michelle Tafoya.
That's right, and in his place, Seneca Wallace gets the start for the second straight week. Seneca's been here 4 seasons, Matt. He knows the system. What's the one thing people should know as they watch this guy play tonight?
Well, for 4 years, he's been preparing every single day for this opportunity, and this opportunity's here. I feel like he's prepared. People know about him as a runner and his athletic ability. I don't think people know what a great passer is. He's got a strong arm. It's pretty accurate, and guys on the team love him. He's playing with confidence. I think that's a great thing.
An interesting set of circumstances. Monday Night Football, we've got rain. You're trying to end a 2-game skid. What do you think his mindset is coming into this?
He's calm. I was just with him in the locker room. He's very calm. He very much like as if he was the number 2 guy today. He's a cool cat, you know, and guys know that about him. He doesn't seem to get flustered too easily, but he's also got a lot of emotion. I think it's part of why guys really they want to play for him.
And they want to play for you too, so we'll see you in a couple weeks, Matt.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you, Michelle. Warren Sapp and the Raiders ready to test Wallace, see if Randy Moss and the offense can get it going as well. Kickoff coming up after Hank Williams. That's after this. Rowdy friends at the land of the 12th man, Westfield here in Seattle. And it's amazing that so many people are here. Not only is the weather tough to deal with in the stadium, but also getting here just after 5:30 local time, Seattle's traffic and rush hour, and record rain and flooding. But they are here, and they, like the players, will deal with a very difficult rain and wind that will blow right to left as you watch the game tonight. And as we get started, hello to our colleague Susie Calver, who's back home. She'll be back with us next week in Carolina.
She's got to be so sorry she's missing all this rain.
Sure.
Well, Susie said there, gee, I wish I was getting soaked.
She does, promise. So the Raiders
Get the arc, baby. Start loading the animals.
Raiders win the toss and will receive. There is the Hall of Famer. 207 games played in the NFL. Art Shell back for his second tenure as Raider head coach.
Art Shell told us the other day he didn't know there wasn't a roof on this building.
He's about to find out.
Chris Carr back deep to receive Josh Brown's kickoff. Off we go from the Great Northwest. Carr from the 5. And the wind affected the flight of that kick as Carr gets out to the 25-yard line, where he's brought down by Kevin Bentley. Oh, not exactly a seasoned veteran starting at quarterback for the Raiders either. Here comes Andrew Walter, third-round pick in the draft a couple of years ago, making his 6th start. He's 2-3. As you see, the trouble with the interceptions, a completion percentage under 50. You could say it a lot of nice ways, but I'll use Andrew Walter's words to describe the Raider offense last week. Quote, terrible, ridiculous, pathetic.
And those were the good words he used.
Drive start for the 26. Lamont Jordan's the running back. And Walter gets out of the pocket and throws to Moss. Randy couldn't pull it in. It's incomplete. We have fullback Zach Crockett introducing us to the rest of the Raiders offense.
We're going to start off with the trench mall with the leader, Jay Groove at center, and a young up-and-coming right guard, Kevin Booth. Moving over to the skill positions with a young gun from the Arizona Sun, Andrew Walter. Then you got my man, Lamont Jordan in the backfield, who I'm leading the way for. Then you got a guy you can't even keep up with a radar gun. You got Randy Moss.
Moss, who always plays well on Monday nights, and Mike Holmgren said, I remember in Green Bay, always plays well against me. We'll see how he goes tonight. Rashard Lee is going to see some more time with Crockett injured. Gain of about 7. Here's the Seattle defense introduced by defensive lineman Bryce Fisher.
On the defensive line, we got Chuck Darby, Grant Wistrom, and the Bear, Rocky Bernard. At linebacker, we've got not one, but 2 Pro Bowl linebackers, the little one, Lofa Tatupu, and the rangy one, Julian Peterson, and the hard-hitting, fast-nosed Leroy Hill. In our secondary, Kelly Herndon, Marcus Trufant, Jordan Babineau, and the Hammer. Enough said. Go Air Force.
Fisher, an alum of the Air Force Academy. This unit has struggled as well. They've given up at least 28 last 5 days. Walter, sacked. What else is new? He's been sacked aplenty this year.
Did Bryce Fisher call somebody fast-nosed before?
Something like that.
What does that mean?
Julian Peterson comes up with yet another sack.
Julian Peterson would fit the category of fast. That's number 59 coming off the corner. He goes inside of Robert Gallery. Now, that's on Andrew Walter. He has to get rid of the football. He can't stand back there and think he has all day.
In a sense, they're all on Andrew Walter because there's like 9 guys jumping on him 8 times a game.
Peterson has sacked each of his last 4 games. Shane Leckler's punt, good one. 55 yards to the best average in the league. Nate Burleson got out of a tackle and gets out to the 32-yard line. Solid return by Burleson. John Madsen the tackle after the net of 39 yards on the punt. Here comes Seneca Wallace. So he hung around for a while here, 4 years after coming out of Iowa State as a quarterback. One who, as it was alluded to beforehand, was told at every turn, maybe a wide receiver, maybe a defensive back, but this very mobile quarterback. If Mike Holmgren says, I like you as a quarterback, that says something. Holmgren comfortable with him as the number 2. Here he is starting for the second game.
Also considered him as a punt returner. Went shopping for another quarterback in the offseason, couldn't find one. Well, he was going to be number 2, but wanted to try him at punt returns.
Seahawk drive starts from the 32. They try to get their anemic running game going. Maurice Morris loses 3, tackled by Sam Williams. Here's the injured Pro Bowl quarterback Matt Hasselbeck with the Seahawks offense.
Seahawks offensive line led by Walter Jones and Pro Bowler Robbie Toback. At right guard, we've got my roommate Chris Gray starting his 114th consecutive game for the Hawks. At quarterback, it won't be me, but it'll be a very Jim Zorn-esque Seneca Wallace. We've got Pro Bowler fullback Max Strong and a high-character group of wide receivers led by Darrell Jackson, number 82.
High character, high performance as well. The tight end, Itula Mili with the catch to the 35-yard line. You'll have 3rd and about 7 coming up for the Seahawks.
I'm still trying to figure out what fast-nosed means. I love when the players give these introductions. I try to count who's my man. Some guys have 4 and 5. Who's my man? I just like them. I think they're funny.
That's our way.
They're good.
It's the way to communicate within the industry.
Like them.
There's one more coming up. The Raiders
Good.
defense.
I can't wait.
It's the best of the night.
Oh, good.
That's the best in the league last year. Sean Alexander, the Pro Bowl back, out once again with his foot injury. Wallace, 3rd down throw, complete to Max Strong. And the fullback gets right to the number. Check the mark, see if it's a 1st down. Looks to be.
This is the thing that Seneca Wallace has the ability to do, to create with his feet. The play isn't there. Okay, I pump, now I move and create. Knows exactly where everyone is. Max Strong not noted as a wide receiver or a receiver as much. Has 15 receptions coming into this game, but still, Seneca does a nice job of finding the receiver after the play breaks down.
First down of the game from the 42. Here is Morris. Only a gain of 1. Thomas Howard the tackle. Here's the rest of the Raider defense with Warren Sapp.
Up front, we got the 4 killers that if you drop back and pass, ooh, don't do that. And in the back end, we got our linebackers in the crew. The boys run fast and hit you hard. And on the back end, forget about it. One-on-one, all day long. You want some, come get some.
That was the best.
Right.
You didn't oversell that one. That was the best.
Penalty marker on the play on the Raiders. And the mark-off will be tacked on. Art Shell's team, as you know, always a propensity for flags. They've led the league the last couple of years. Not the most penalized team in the league this year, but the unsportsmanlike adds 15 here. And takes it to the 41.
I think this had to do with the play before on the first down when Max Strong looks like he might have gone out before the marker right at the Bear bench, or at the Raider bench. They were not happy, and they expressed it.
Tagged on 15. Seahawks first snap in Raider territory. They're going to try very hard to establish the run. 2 yards for Morris, tackled by the 7th overall pick in last year's draft, Michael Huff from the national champions, Texas.
The difference between last year and this year in the running game for the Seahawks is a mere 61 yards. Average almost 152 yards. Now they're down into the high 90s. And a lot of that has to do with different people that have left. One being Steve Hutchinson, their left guard.
Who went in free agency to Minnesota. Morris, big opening. The former Oregon Duck takes it to the 22. First down.
That's what Michael, that's what happens when you put a lot of people around the line of scrimmage and one of the safeties doesn't fill. Watch the left of your screen. Floyd Womack, pork chop comes around, kicks out. Morris has an opportunity to hit it up inside real quick.
Womack coming in the left guard, huge return. They felt if he was in there, these numbers would have been better this year. 3rd in the league with Hutchinson, 26 without Hutch, and of course, Alexander's injury. Wallace a pump and first down throw. Touchdown, Neion Branch.
You want to play press man-to-man? You get the time, you can do a lot of things with double moves against the secondary, and that's exactly what we saw.
Oakland Raiders, good for what ails you. I mean, come on, that's like down the field in a minute. They hadn't rushed for even 3 yards a pop going into this game. They break off a big run. Next play, pass into the corner to the former Super Bowl MVP. How quick does that start?
Real quick.
Yeah.
MVP of Super Bowl 39, held out, eventually traded from New England here to Seattle for a first-round pick next year. Josh Brown adds the extra point, and Neion Branch in the end zone for the 3rd time as a Seahawk from the man making his 2nd NFL start, Seneca Wallace.
You can't wrap them up against allergies, but you can treat almost every allergic reaction with Piriton. Piriton, for the family's allergies.
The divorce from the Patriots was very tough emotionally on Neion Branch. He's trying to emotionally and physically fit in here in the locker room. On the football field he has. Big impact there. Faking out Fabian Washington for the wrap-up of that 7-play, nearly 3-minute opening Seahawk drive.
That one was textbook, that drive. You had run, do what you want to do, break off a big one, get the safeties concerned, get them up around the line of scrimmage, and then run a double move on the corner.
Kelly Jennings comes down to hold because of the wind. Riding the wind, Carr has no return, and a touchback. Talking about Seneca Wallace's 2nd NFL start, first on Monday Night Football. He was 3 of 3 on the drive. Good to have a Super Bowl MVP to catch him for you.
Technology has made your morning easier. Why not your shave? The Philips Smart Touch XL is designed to shave more with every touch, with 3 shaving rings in each shaving head. And because it pivots to stay on your face and neck, even tricky hairs are cut. Simplicity is making every stroke count.
Football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. The new LS, unprecedented, allnewls.com. Circuit City, for the hottest new technology, think Circuit City, just what I needed. And McDonald's.
They only average 38 inches of rain per year in Seattle. That's less than New York, less than Atlanta, less than Houston. It only all comes when you're here.
Yeah, all this week. Thank you.
They're already over their November average for rain 6 days in.
Thank you, Tony.
But they had a great August, September, October.
Yeah,
This
but
is a wonderful
I
city.
wasn't here in August, September, and October. Everybody says you just missed the good weather. Thank you.
Great city, great crowd. Raiders from the 20. Try to run Lamont Jordan. Lost a yard and a half. Lofa Tutupu inches into start. Chuck Darby finishes it off. Well, Walter is in because Aaron Brooks got hurt week 2. What's happened to Walter? Very little good. 9 picks, 3 touchdowns. He's fumbled 5 times. He's been sacked now 29 times, most in the NFL. His passer rating is last in the league, 34th. There are 32 teams. You see his turnovers. Only Charlie Fry and Ben Roethlisberger with more. 2nd and 11. The pressure picked up, but Tutupu gets in anyway, and he and Darby bring the quarterback down.
I'm going to say this now because I may be proven wrong later in the game. Their offense is unspeakably bad. They're last in total offense, last in passing offense, last in first downs, highest rate of interceptions, highest rate of sacks. Their offensive line is a total sieve, and with Art Shell as the head coach and Jackie Slater as an offensive line coach, at least you'd think the offensive line could protect the quarterback a little better.
Just run it with Jordan. 2 yards.
That's a give-up, right?
Absolutely. If not, he's going to get sacked in the end zone, and you're going to give up 2 points. No, Tony, I agree with you. But the other thing is Andrew Walter can help his offensive line a little bit. That time, he had enough time to get rid of the football. He's got to take 1 look, a second look, and then make a decision. Throw the ball away, get out of the pocket. Dude, you just can't stand there like a statue.
I'm sure he's a sweet kid, but if there are 32 teams and he's rated 34th, that's not good.
Leckler kicks into the wind.
Oh. Huh.
It'll be a 29-yard punt. Seattle takes over at the Raider 40. 2 drives, 2 sacks. Pro Bowler last year, Lofa Tutupu in the middle of it.
These guys look fantastic. I'm so proud.
Join the Reebok Hockey Revolution. Visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
You can't wrap them up against allergies, but you can treat almost every allergic reaction with Piriton.
You're watching NASN, the North American Sports Network, a new and exciting sports channel dedicated to the best in live North American sports 24/7. On NASN, you can experience over 100 live NFL games this season, plus the playoffs and the Super Bowl live. Watch up to 175 regular season NHL games and live postseason, including the Stanley Cup Finals. Feel the excitement of live Major League Baseball with up to 260 regular season games and exclusive coverage of the World Series. NASN also brings you an exclusive lineup of college sports with live college football and basketball. And with a daily lineup of sports news, talk shows, highlights, and analysis, NASN is your channel for the very best in live North American sports. Visit NASN.com for scheduling news and information.
Ready? Winds over 20 miles an hour, blowing in the direction you're looking, so the Seahawks have the wind at their back here in the opening quarter. Thus, good field position as they take over at the +40, the Raider 40. And Seneca Wallace right back to the air. Oh, look at all the time. You can get open with a protection like that, but it's in and out of the hands of Darrell Jackson. Stuart Schweigert in coverage.
He threw a little bit behind on that one, but the last series, what he does, it's a pump fake outside against Fabian Washington to Deion Branch. Beautiful trajectory. Got the ball up, and I want you to see that. He led the receiver by 22 yards. That's what you have to do, is give the receiver a chance to go get the ball. That's what makes for long plays. That was sweet. I love pass track. I love those arrows.
Another good receiver. One of the four out there, DJ Hackett. They spread him and run Morris to the 34-yard line. Lance Johnstone in on the tackle. So Deion Branch catches that touchdown. We told you he came from New England. Trying to acclimate himself to the Northwest. We had a fish catching contest with the Seattle wide receivers down at Pike Place Market on Friday. Nate Burleson couldn't hang on. There's DJ Hackett. He couldn't.
Come on, it's only a fish. Catch it. There you go.
What do you expect from the Super Bowl MVP?
Put it in your hands and squeeze the fish home.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
I'm sure, Tony, you tried it.
All the time at home.
3rd and 4. Wallace uses that elusiveness. First down, 26.
Elusiveness and intelligence. Pick up the first down, get yourself out of bounds so you don't take unnecessary hits. This is the dimension that he brings. Comes back, last foot hits, moves around, gets out of trouble. All right, I have the first down. Got a couple guys coming. Thomas Howard wants to hit me. I'm not going to give him the chance. Just like the way, then, you know, a little flip just to slow the defense down, thinking he might pitch the ball back.
To who exactly? Who was 10 yards
Didn't
past
matter.
the line?
Didn't matter.
Time again. Branch again. First down at the 9. Pickup of 18.
Deion Branch is getting an opportunity to work one-on-one. That's Fabian Washington again. This time he takes an outside position. The Raiders decided to play zone, drop their backers back, and then you just have to have the time to find the soft spot.
Do you think he thinks to himself it's as easy as catching fish?
I think he thinks it's easier.
First and goal, Maurice Morris squirts through a would-be tackle, gets to the 6. Robert Thomas down there. We talked about Branch and coming in. The Patriots holdout really became elongated on into the first part of the regular season. He had hoped a couple of different times that New England would extend his rookie contract that was 5 years, a little bit longer than most. He finally got to the frustration point. Super Bowl MVP, multiple catches, double-digit catches in multiple Super Bowls. He thought, well, now you're going to do it. Now you're going to. They didn't. That's why he held out, and the trade finally happened. Design run. Wallace out of bounds at the 3.
What struck me when we talked to Deion Branch the other day is how plainly hurt he was at how that happened. How much he wanted to be with the New England Patriots, and the notion that they weren't going to pay him after what he considered to be his own financial sacrifices for the sake of the team really hurt him. In a conversation, he was near tears talking about having to leave because he loves Belichick and he loves Brady. And he's happy here, but he didn't want to have to leave.
He'll be at the bottom of your screen for 3rd and goal. And Wallace, with the play clock running down, shows some poise and takes time out. 3rd and goal from the 3. Seattle trying to add to its lead.
Live NHL continues on NASN with a live and exclusive Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader. First up, it's an Eastern Conference collision as Montreal go to sweep some Leafs in Toronto. Then it's over to the Western Conference as the Flames try to burn the Canucks out of General Motors Palace. A live Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader, Saturday late night at 1, only on NASN.
Wallace leading Seattle on a drive. When he came out of the Northern California area in Sacramento, he wanted to go to a Pac-10 school, but his grades weren't good enough to get into Oregon State. So he actually stacked magazines at the Sacramento airport for a month. Eventually got back into football at Sac City Junior College, then to Iowa State, where he had 2 very good years, put the Cyclones back on the football map. Didn't play at all for 2 years, became the full-time number 2 in 05, and here in 06. And here he is, second start for the injured Matt Hasselbeck. On 3rd and goal, the lob is incomplete for the big tight end, Jeremy Stevens, and it'll be field goal time for the Seahawks.
We talked about in the open Seneca's ability to create with his legs. He slides around, moves around, makes plays, gets the ball out to his running back, knows where everyone is. His quick feet allow him to make the pump, get the touchdown to Deion Branch. And then if that's not good enough, he avoids the pressure of Warren Sapp and then uses his legs to run out of bounds to protect himself, as well as pick up the first down.
Josh Brown on for a 20-yard field goal.
I have him in fantasy.
You're rolling now.
No, I actually were down 60 points. I need 20 of them.
I vowed I wouldn't go here all year. Who are you playing?
I don't know.
My team.
Oh!
Beat you. 10-0.
Try and help me out.
Live NHL continues on NASN with the Devils battening down the hatches of the Continental Arena as the Hurricanes approach. It's a playoff rematch as New Jersey try and forget the 4-1 defeat they suffered back in May. Live NHL, Carolina versus New Jersey. Tonight, late night at 1, only on NASN.
Some
10-0 here in Seattle. As I said at the beginning, after tonight, it is the statistical halfway point of the NFL season. And therefore,
so we're giving out Tony Awards, and the truth of the matter is that neither you nor you will let me speak much, so I invented these phony baloney awards to give out at the halfway point to give myself some more airtime. You know,
I'm anxious to see what the categories are.
America clamoring to hear more of you. Carr with no return. Okay, Mr. Airtime, here comes the first one.
Here we go. The first one is for best choreography, and of course it goes to Ochenta y Cinco, not Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, as you see after one of his rare touchdowns, the salsa dance. That's very, very nice, isn't it? I mean, he's not in there all that much. That's a great-looking dance.
He hasn't been in a lot. I mean, it's been, you know, the river dance was a good one, I thought, but I absolutely agree with that one. I'll go along with that.
Look out, Emmitt Smith. Look out. He can dance.
What's not nice is he has only 2 touchdowns in 8 games, and they're 4-4.
Right.
Yeah. All the humor aside, they need to get going. So do the Raiders. Walter, first down throw, incomplete. Nobody moving at all. And the pass getting deflected. Penalty marker down. Darryl tapped the defensive end and dropped in zone blitz coverage. Bill Carrillo, our referee.
Pass interference, 59, defense, automatic first down, spot of the foul.
Beyond
Julian rushing the passer, dropping into pass defense. When the Seahawks added Julian Peterson, they added one of the best athletes in the National Football League.
So after the Raiders' first down, Justin Fargas in the game as the running back. Fargas didn't pick up Tutupu. Walters scrambles and throws incomplete, intended for the tight end, Randall Williams.
Now that is not his forte. We saw what Seneca Wallace can do when he gets pressure. When Andrew Walter gets pressure, he's too tall. He's a big guy, he's 6'6". So it's hard for him to get his hips turned and get moving around. The pressure comes outside. Everybody has seen it. Tutupu almost got him.
Doesn't Farkas have to do a better job?
Well, everybody has to do a better job.
But it just amplifies Walter's lack of mobility. Straight drop, third down throw. There's a completion for a first down to Randy Moss across the 42, gain of 17.
Do you remember in the preseason when Randy Moss was having a bit of a scuffle with Aaron Brooks because he wanted the ball thrown to him more, and Aaron Brooks said, I'm not throwing every damn time to Randy Moss. He worked with Walter. Those guys became friends, sort of like Terrell Owens has become friends with Tony Romo.
Right.
So Walter, if he can throw, will look for Randy Moss.
Has a comfort level with him.
Yeah.
Snap problems, fumble. Fargas jumped on it and recovers. As Walter and Jake Grove, the center, unable to get the exchange.
If this was a basketball game, Mike, you'd signal for a 20-second timeout. He's pulling out. Again, the quarterback is pulling out before the ball is snapped. You have to stay there and ride your hands forward as you come back away from the ball. You can't be having your hands and your body